of this Taco Bell ad? To get people to buy it, okay?
Yeah, that too, man. No.
You're right. Okay, so to get people to buy something, right? To convince them. What about this one? The show Empire.
To get people to watch it.
To get people to watch it. Okay, I'm going to pause you right there. So this is an ad for Empire, right? So this is one that I wanted to kind of has a dual purpose for me. So this particular ad is to get people to watch Empire, right? What about the show Empire itself? What is the purpose of the show Empire?
Entertain.
Bingo, to entertain, right? Why do you watch it? You want a good show, you're going to watch it. Good job. Can anybody tell what this is?
iPhone.
So it's an iPhone. It's got it on there, but what else is it?
It's a guy.
It's a guide, right? It's an iPhone guide. So what's the purpose of this iPhone guide?
Show you how to operate it.
Show you how to operate it, right? What about this one? It's a meme. Stay strong. The school year is almost over. What's the purpose of this meme?
Keep you motivated.
Keep you motivated, right? What's that, Marcus?
Don't slack.
Don't slack. Yep, don't slack. What did I hear over here? To be funny, right? Make people laugh. All right, good. So you guys are really good at keying in on these things. Now, what you just have to be able to do is you have to translate this when you're reading something and when you're looking at all different kinds of text, okay? So there are three main types of author's purpose that you need to know about. What's the first one that we already talked about this morning? Expository. Good, yeah. So expository, to inform, right? That's the first main type of author's purpose we want to think about. The next one is to persuade. What does it mean to persuade?
Convince.
To convince, right? To convince what?
The reader.
The reader to do whatever they want to do or buy whatever they want to buy, right? So which one of those images that we looked at before would have been an example of persuasion?
Taco Bell joint.
The Taco Bell. Good. And then to entertain, right? You guys hit on it perfectly with Empire. Purpose of that show? To entertain, right? Alright, so here are some things I want you guys to think about when you're writing to inform. So we already talked about this. It's called expository writing. And you guys already got this. It explains facts. Somebody, what would be an example of an expository text? Or what do you read to get information from?
A newspaper.
A newspaper. Awesome. Somebody else. Give me some.
Some source of religion.
Say it again.
Some source of religion.
Source of religion, like what?
Like say the Bible or the Quran.
Good. The Bible or the Quran. And Tiffany, to answer your question, we're talking about books or texts of any sort that give us information.
Computer.
Say it again.
The computer.
A computer. Ooh, that's a good one. So a computer is probably filled with expository texts, right? Yeah. All right. One last thing to capture with this. The audience. Make sure you think of who the audience is. Why is it important to know about the audience? Anybody know? If I'm writing a pamphlet about how to pass the GED, who would my audience be? Students, but more specifically, what's that?
You said writing the pamphlet.
So I'm writing a pamphlet about how to pass the GED. So the audience, as Dominic correctly stated, would be students. But students could mean anybody. Would I be writing that pamphlet for third graders?
The instructor.
What's that?
The instructor.
The instructor could be one, so the instructor is another piece of the audience. They need to know how to teach it. But specifically, students. What students would want to read a GED pamphlet?
They want that GED.
People who want to pass the GED. Everybody in this room would be part of that audience. Anybody in any kind of GED program would be part of that audience, right? What about somebody who's trying to, they're trying to put in a stop sign in their neighborhood at a dangerous intersection, right? They're trying to put a stop sign in, and so they're going to write a letter to get that stop sign in. Who would the audience of that letter be? Council, right? It'd be council. Now, what if they were writing a letter to their neighbors instead, to try and convince them that they needed this stop sign? Would the letter be different for council versus just other neighbors?
Sort of the same.
They're sort of the same, right? But maybe if you're writing a note to your neighbor or somebody, it might be a little bit more casual, right? Whereas writing a letter to council, you're going to be more formal, okay? So this is why you have to understand your audience. All right, so who's the author writing for? And knowing the audience can help you figure out your purpose, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you guys a handout. We're going to compare 3 different types of texts, okay? They all have something in common, but for the most part, one might be a little bit questionable. For the most part, they all have a different purpose. There's a different reason behind each one, okay? As we go through, I want you guys to identify what the author's purpose was when working on these documents, and then how that's going to come across. So I've got this graphic organizer here, okay? What is the author's main purpose for writing this text? To inform, persuade, or entertain. What is the specific purpose of this text? When I say what's the specific purpose, what am I talking about? I've got inform, persuade, or entertain. But what's the specific purpose? What do I mean when I say that? So we've got our 3 main types of purposes, right? Somebody give them to me. What are our 3 main types?
Train, persuade, inform.
Thank you. Entertain, persuade, and inform. Now, when those are our main types, but if I say specific, right? We were talking about that user guide for the iPhone, right? Which one of those 3 would that user guide for the iPhone be?
Inform.
To inform. But more specifically, what is it informing us about?
How to use it.
How to use it. Exactly. It's giving us directions for something, right? So, the purpose of the show Empire is to what? To entertain. But more specifically, it's telling a story about, I don't know, I don't watch Empire. What's Empire about? Drama. So it's a story about drama, right? So as we look at these different types of texts, I want you all to write down the main purpose and then the specific purpose, okay? And then finally, I want you to consider the audience. Who is the author writing to? Or who is the author trying to reach out to? Okay? We're going to do the first one together because it's actually a video clip. You guys all have a box there. Please write persuade in that first box. Okay? And then the next one down, what is the more specific purpose? If this video is trying to persuade us of something, what's it trying to persuade us of?
Them sandwiches.
The sandwich. What about the sandwiches?
I mean, just to come to the shop.
Trying to get you to go to the sandwich shop, right? It's trying to get you to go to the sandwich shop. So make sure you put that in the second
What,
box.
go to the sandwich spot?
Hmm?
Go to the sandwich shop?
Yep, go to the sandwich shop. It's trying to convince you to go to the sandwich shop. Who would the audience be?
People that watch.
People that's watching the TV show. Bingo. That's all it takes. People that watch this show. If you wanted to get even more specific, you could say people who like sandwiches. You could say people who like food. Right? So make sure y'all are writing this down, okay? Because we're gonna do it with a reading piece next, okay? Make sure you're writing it down. I'm sorry, Tiffany, what did you ask? Who the audience is? Alright, so we're going to look at two more things. Some of you guys are going to get similar things, but I've got two different sets, okay? So everybody's going to get, or half the room's going to get one set, the other half's going to get the other set, okay? One of these is a book review, okay? You're all going to be reading the same book review, but it's a little bit different for each of you, okay? And then the other one's going to be a McDonald's ad.
I took a McDonald's.
Well, you're all going to get a McDonald's ad. But, so we're going to do, I'm going to give you this set.